Today's show is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with the advertisers that fit your audience. That's Podgo at podgo.co. Podgo. That's where the pods go.
Hello and welcome to the Infectious Groove Podcast, part of the Odd Pods Media Network. Recorded at the 33 1/3 Music Appreciation Center in Speakeasy, located just outside of Detroit, Michigan. The Infectious Groove Podcast is your source for jammy jams, music news, and the best in-depth music discussion. Thanks for joining us. Now here are your hosts.
Hello. My name is Russ, and along with me is Michelle and Kyle, as always. And at the time of recording, the weather here in Detroit is beautiful. Yeah. So hopefully, hopefully this email finds you well, wherever you are. And this episode will be heard in a place where you're enjoying the weather as well. And our main topic for this episode is going to be another fun one. We have another album review, this time chosen by Kyle. And Kyle also went the same route Michelle did, although there was more thought behind it than Michelle put into her choice. It's still a great choice. We're going to talk about the Rolling Stones classic Some Girls, which is we've got some interesting points about that record.
We do.
All the way across the board. So that should be cool. And then I always mention our YouTube channel. We had another video go up last Thursday, which this time was about organization of your records, like what order you put artists or albums in or whatever.
I need to watch that one.
You do.
I do. I really do.
And so one of the points of those videos is to get discussion going. And there are so many different and cool
How many
ways.
times have I texted you about that?
Oh, a lot.
A lot.
Yeah. Well, the good news is now you have me permanently on YouTube. Virtual Russ. So if you go to youtube.com/Infectious Groove Podcast, you can subscribe to the channel and check that out. And then our last couple of episodes, we had a couple episodes on women that rock, and then we had the last episode was on cancel culture and art. And I don't say that for our listeners. I say that for Michelle. I want to remind Michelle what we talked about.
My brain, man.
Yeah. So as expected, I knew that we would, and we do have a lot of feedback to share. So let's get into it.
Feedback, John.
Don't worry about that. Right. Where would rock and roll be without feedback?
And this week and for the foreseeable future, the feedback section is brought to you by Pew Pew Lasercraft, which is a Etsy store out of California. This is not our store in any way, but it is a Etsy store that makes really cool music memorabilia. And they have entered a partnership with us where they've given a discount code. So if you search the Etsy store, Pew Pew Lasercraft, and use the code GROOVE, you can get a discount on everything in the store, whether it's music related or not. But they have some really cool music memorabilia on there. So that is what the feedback is brought to you from. We had our listener, Chris, who is local here to the Detroit area, and he got a chance to catch up on the Women That Rock episodes. And we made it clear on the episode that we were not saying this was the definitive list or anything, but he did. He came up with a lot that I'm pretty sure when I go through his list, there's going to be a lot that, like, I know I was like, oh, yeah, and you guys will feel the same way. Mary J. Blige, Lauryn Hill. This one is hurts me so much. Sade. I cannot believe that I didn't talk about Sade. Ronnie Spector. Holy cow, I can't believe I forgot Ronnie Spector. Shaka Khan. Madonna we didn't mention, which is crazy, but we didn't. Miss Diana Ross. Is Madonna in the Mariah Carey category for you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Would we have had a fight?
I don't think so. I wouldn't fight you on it. It's just not.
Sure. I hear what you're saying. The Go-Go's, for sure. I think we offhand mentioned the Go-Go's. I feel like we mentioned them. I feel like
you mentioned them.
Yeah, well, I count.
We said we. I didn't mention the Go-Go's.
I matter.
Do you?
I meant the royal we. Wendy O. Williams, absolutely. Gladys Knight. Come on. Here's one that I'm like, Olivia Newton-John, I don't agree with, but I get it. But I get why he would have included her. Paula Abdul, for sure, on a bunch of different levels. Taylor Momsen, who used to be Cindy Lou Who, but now is a...
I thought I mentioned Paula Abdul.
I don't think so.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure I would have went off about my childhood and Paula Abdul, the importance she played in my adolescence. Let's see here: Shania Twain, Sheryl Crow, Patsy Cline. I can't believe we didn't mention Patsy Cline. No, we did not.
No.
Nope. Susie Sue, of course, Melissa Etheridge, Orianthi, which Orianthi is known in the rock world. She was Michael Jackson's last guitarist. She's with Richie Sambora, and she's well known in the rock world. So, like, that's kind of on me. Like, I should have brought up Orianthi for sure.
Is she the one in This Is It?
Yes. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Wendy Melvoin is one that Chris put of Wendy and Lisa from The Revolution. And Lisa Coleman as well, for that matter. I should have absolutely been on those two.
You really messed up, Russ.
and then
we would have had like 6 episodes if we mentioned all these people.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure. And to be clear, I don't think Chris was like, "You forgot this." You know, it was just like, "Hey, here's someone who."
I feel like he spent all day trying to figure out what we messed up.
Right. Well, he's got a better handle on what we talked about than you do. So, and then he put the last one that he put was he couldn't believe that I didn't mention Courtney Love, and without getting into the whole thing, Courtney Love was left out by design because there is some controversy regarding.
We did beat around mentioning her, but didn't for
we talked about it
the
before
reason
the
why
show.
we
So we probably can and will at some point do a whole episode on the wonder that is Courtney Love, and we'll get into that then.
Just watch Soaked in Bleach. It's fine.
Right. Yeah, there you go. See, now I'm going to go off. So let's not do that. Let's see here. More feedback on our cancel culture episode from last week. The Ever Trending Story podcast. Garrett, that always listens to us, said this was a great episode. Highly recommended listening and thinking about the topic, which is what we wanted.
Yes.
We wanted people to ponder this topic. We had a new listener this week interact with us on our Facebook, which was awesome and brought up some really cool points. Neil says, I'm new to the podcast. Great job, guys. My only point of view is that cancel culture isn't a thing and you're putting too much weight on what people say on Twitter. Like you guys said, Kanye was linked to Trump and there was an uproar, but he still has 35 million monthly listeners on Spotify. It didn't matter. People can always call for boycotts as they did in the 60s with the Beatles and disco in the 70s, but companies will continue to promote whatever music they feel like, which I totally agree with. And I left that comment. I said, you know what, I probably, because I have to be on social media so much to promote the show, I probably...
I disagree with there not being a such thing as cancel culture, though. That people absolutely rally together and eliminate people one after another.
Yeah, I hear you. And we've got more coming up along those lines. James Porter from out of California loves the fact that Michelle and Kyle are going full Beavis and Butthead while Russ does the Manscaped ad reads.
Because we were hearing them for the first time.
Yep, I know. Well, I like when you hear it the second and third time and you laugh harder, which we don't have one this week. So people, if you haven't heard that yet, that's something to look forward to because we did renew our contract with Manscaped. So you have more of that goodness coming for you. James goes on to say, I think that when people feel powerless in our society, they resort to what they feel like they still have power. And that's how they choose to spend their time and money. People can separate the art from the artist, but like you said, there's a line and everybody gets to choose where their line is, which I totally agree with.
Agreed.
We had Dean from the UK, who has been a great supporter and listener of the show and always gives us great feedback. He said that I try not to let the opinion of artists affect my enjoyment of their art. I love Morrissey's solo catalog and the Smiths, but there aren't many who divides an opinion more than Morrissey, which is so true. Holy cow. I have a good friend who's all about the Smiths, and if you just say Morrissey, he's like, Michelle bringing up Dire Straits' Money for Nothing is interesting to hear too. I heard the version at Live Aid before I actually heard the studio version, so I remember being shocked at what I was hearing. But times change, and people will always be offended at something that happened before their time, especially in today's society. It's not as if Mark Knopfler had a deep hatred for those of a different sexual orientation than himself, especially with many of his peers being gay. Rather, the character in the song objectifying to what he was seeing on MTV. At least that's my interpretation of the song, and it's a great song. And then he goes on. He's got a story here that's probably only entertaining to me, but it's about how people, because I had brought up Roger Waters and how he leans way left, and a friend of mine leans to the right, but could still enjoy the show. And he said there was a whole thing about how he ran into a concert goer who he assumed was going to a Guns N' Roses show, but the guy was actually going to a Roger Waters concert, and he was wearing like head to toe in this certain football team, soccer team, we call it in America. But Roger Waters had recently recorded like PSA type thing supporting the other team. And as you know, it's like a religion in Europe, so like this guy could see past that and still go see Roger Waters. And he was kind of surprised. So I thought that was interesting. We did receive a review this week, which was fantastic, which we love when we get reviews on, of all kinds. But this was another 5-star review. It says, this is one of the best music podcasts out there. Russ, Michelle, and Kyle really give great insight and humor during each episode and have interviewed some very prolific names in the industry. P.S. I love that Russ's love for Pink Floyd knows no bounds. Do yourself a solid and subscribe, which is so accurate. My love for Pink Floyd does know no bounds.
None. None.
Yes. There's no end to it. We got another piece of feedback that says, I'm so excited that you found the Group Love. They are one of the best bands where I love every song, and I've seen them 4 or 5 times live. It's always a blast. They are heavily influenced by Nirvana, and you can really hear it in their song Borderlines and Aliens. And that's one of those bands that I'd mentioned during Jammy Jams recently that I got turned on to, which is awesome for me to hear of a new band. And I like that, like, you guys immediately were like, yeah, you know, you should know about that. And the listeners as well are like, hell yeah, you know, and continue to get more suggestions and things to look into from them is awesome. So there is another, I've told you guys before, when we have other shows listen to us, that's like a badge of honor to me, you know, like other creators listening to us. And there's a great show called the Core Extra Podcast, and they really took time to share some cool thoughts about our cancel culture episode. So I thought I'd give them a shout out and share some of their thoughts. So they said, first of all, this episode was great and a very timely topic related to the music industry and entertainment in general. My thought is that it comes to artists and their opinions as part of their persona. So it's almost like it's okay if that's how the artists start off, which I think you were saying. He goes on to say, U2 and Rage Against the Machine come to mind. Yeah. Like if you start out that way, then that's fine, you know. But I believe it's harder and more uncomfortable when the two get mixed. The bigger issue seems to be the manner in which cancel culture works as opposed to the fact that it exists. Now it seems the keyboard warriors with little to no life experience or worldly education sit in their parents' basement and decide that something John Mayer said 10 years ago offends them and today they need to be canceled. That process is good for no one and good for no movement or its cause, and actually trivializes the cause more than it helps, which I couldn't agree with more.
I agree completely.
I was just saying something similar to a friend of mine last night about that. Like if I was a person, a marginalized person being affected by something like that, and someone was trivializing it over online clout, I would be livid.
Right.
You know? Yep. Then they go on to say the broader issue, and I must include that we as Americans have always been a cancel culture. And the only difference now is that the vehicle towards cancellation has changed to the internet. Depending on how far back you want to go, for the purpose of the discussion, you go back to the 80s. MTV canceled black artists and didn't even deny it or even try to explain it away. Through the music industry and just music history, black artists were routinely canceled and marginalized, and to a point it continues today. I was in Budapest a couple of years ago and went on into a few boutiques and heard more blues and Motown than I do here when I'm out shopping. Point is that black artists have always found more acceptance overseas than they have at home because more or less they were canceled. I could discuss this all day. I really appreciate your attention and, as always, the way you guys handle these subjects. So I thought that was a lot of really great points. And like you said, Kyle, I don't think overall anybody was denying that cancel culture exists, because that's what the argument always is. Well, there's no such thing as cancel culture. And yes, there is. And I think the problem, what we discussed in the episode, is it's not a matter of if it exists or not. It's a matter of how damaging it can be across the board. Yeah. So that was my take on it. But I thought when we said, you know, hey, we're doing this episode and we really want some good feedback, like that's the type of feedback I was hoping for, was exactly what we got. Plus, nobody told us to go F ourselves. So.
Well, not to our face.
Right. Yeah. And also to the point of the new listener saying, you know, it doesn't exist. I do totally see his point where it exists the more you look into these things, where like me personally, I have to spend a heavy amount of time on social media. And so I see it way more. Like for example, for you, Michelle, I had to explain like the whole ins and outs of the Mumford situation to you. I would love to be in your situation where like I didn't know any of that. You know what I mean? So for you, if I had asked you even before I explained that whole thing, you might be like, well, nobody canceled the Mumford and Sons. You know what I mean? But then
not my Mumford and Sons.
Not my Mumford and Sons.
Yeah, I guess you're right, because I'm very in touch with all that kind of stuff too. So I hear about it anyways. Right. So I'm not looking for it, but it finds me because of all the stuff that I'm looking into.
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, and as always, new listeners are always welcome, and feedback is always welcome. The best place to go to find anything to do with the show is just go right to infectiousgroovepodcast.com, because from there you can find our YouTube page, subscribe on whatever platform that you want to listen to the podcast on. You can find us on all social media, including Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and so on. And we keep our Twitter and social media the same way we keep the show. We try and keep it upbeat and positive. So if you want to come and leave us some constructive feedback or a talking point, great. You know, if you want to come to talk to us about negative stuff or albums that suck or artists that suck, that's not us. Move on to another show or another social media account. But for everything else, come and see us at infectiousgroovepodcast.com. We have some exciting stuff coming up, because not only am I going to share what I'm listening to, but Kyle is, and then holy cow. the biggin, Michelle, is going to share with everybody. Here we go. Our jammies. I have 2 jammy jams this week, and they could not be more different.
You were so pumped for that.
I am so pumped.
Like you were like speeding through the feedback to be like, listen to what I'm listening to.
Oh, I know. Okay. I know.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
This is huge. These songs could not be more different. But this entire week, I've had either Fuji La by the Fugees stuck in my head, or Electric Funeral by Black Sabbath. Which is as you know, almost the same song.
Yeah.
So Electric Funeral is, and I'm not being funny. Have you ever seen Terminator 2?
I hope the answer to that's yes.
I don't know that I've seen any Terminator.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk to Kyle for a minute. You know the scene in Terminator 2 where Sarah has the dream about Judgment Day?
Yeah.
Okay, the song by Black Sabbath more or less it describes that, but like 30 years before that movie came out. Yeah. Okay, and it sounds exactly like the title is, like Electric Funeral. Like the song is about everybody just getting melted into nuclear destruction, and it's not a happy song. It
sounds like a happy song.
Not, so if this is what you guys want to play at your wedding, I'll tell you now, don't do that.
Shit.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but I've just had the riff and the lyrics stuck in my head all week, and like you say, it couldn't be any different than Fuji La, which is
we did talk about Terminator this week.
What are you talking about right now? What?
Well, I sent the Eminem video.
What? Oh, what is Michelle talking about? Brought to you
by Pew Pew Lasercraft. Vicky and Mike. It's a joint venture.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
I'm the one that's going to have to make something of this when we're editing it. So what are you talking about?
You said you don't know why it's stuck in your head, but I shared that Eminem whatever, the AI thing where they made up the new lyrics and whatever, and you said something about Terminators.
Skynet.
Skynet, yes.
So that might be why it's stuck in your head.
Yes. So for the audience sake, Michelle, there was a story in music this week where an AI computer had written a whole Eminem song and mimicked Eminem's voice on the entire track, and Kyle and I instantly said that's Skynet from Terminator 2.
See? And now we're here. Full circle.
Right, yeah. And then Michelle led us very blindly through the forest.
We're going to have to hire a fucking translator to come over here and help us through these things.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's the first thing we're doing when the show starts making real money. We're not getting like a social media person or any, like, because I've got the audio production on lockdown. You do the art. You're here.
Ish.
Yeah, ish. We're going to get a translation intern.
Yes.
I'm sorry, a Michelle translation intern.
Like the mom translator?
Yes, from Saturday Night Live. So anyways, and I didn't even speak on it much, but Fuji La is a classic, and the score is crazy good. Like the score by the Fugees is one of those records that, when you see a movie and somebody tells you it's the funniest movie ever and that it's just mildly funny. Yeah. Okay. The score is every bit as good as everyone's ever told you that it is.
Yeah. I totally agree.
When you listen to that record one time through and you're just like everything everyone's ever said positive. And for some reason, Fuji La is not even my favorite song on the record. Cowboys is my favorite song on the album. But, for some reason I've just had there's so many clever rhyme flips in that song, like turn of phrase. And so I've had a bunch of random ones in my head this week. So those are my Jammy Jams. Kyle, what you listening to?
NF dropped a new, he's calling it a mixtape. It's got like 10 songs on it. To me, that's pretty much an album.
I mean,
why does he call it a mixtape?
I'm not sure. I think there's maybe not a set concept for it. So it's just kind of all the stuff he's been working on, not all like meant to be put together necessarily. And I don't know that for a fact, but
yeah, that's fair. I've heard that description of a mixtape versus an album.
Yeah. And I don't, like I said, I don't know that for a fact, but, it is called Clouds, the mixtape. It's different than old NF that you would have listened to. Similar but different. And he also has Tech Nine and Hobson on the mixtape. Both of those artists are known for not swearing. So they swear.
I think you talked about that last time you brought them up.
Tech Nine and Hobson both cuss a ton in their music. Mm-hmm. They're both on this record and they don't cuss at all. And it's because NF doesn't cuss.
Right, which is cool.
Yes, I find that hugely respectful.
To be a sign of respect, for sure.
And Tech Nine absolutely does not have to go and do this to be on NF's record. And he did and doesn't cuss, and it's just as great as any other Tech Nine song.
I have to bring it up, the Eminem lyric, Will Smith don't got a cuss in his raps. Well, I do, so F him and F you too. Wonderful.
But yeah, it's I listened to the entire thing multiple times.
Cool.
And it's just different enough to be
interesting,
and it feels like he's going in a similar but kind of different direction than what he has been in the past, and I totally dig that.
And as a plus for Michelle, she gets to listen to all of it tomorrow while you decide what tracks go on the playlist.
Well,
which is, I know, the highlight of your week.
It is the highlight of my week, but I also enjoy NF, so it'd probably be fine.
Cool. Well, hey now.
It will probably be fine. It's not like a rainy endorsement.
Not that I expect you to remember next week what we talked about, but if you could give us an update.
I don't even remember what I did today, man.
I'm very aware. Kyle, what else are you listening to?
I also, it got stuck in my head. There was a song.
Oh, God.
There was a song that 21 Savage was on. I'm not even a huge fan of 21 Savage, but this particular song, when I originally heard it, all I could think about was like, God damn, this is great. Like the way this is constructed. And I went through hell and high water on Spotify, on YouTube, on the internet in general, trying to find what this song was. Cause it's not a song that's on his records.
Did you find it?
I found it.
Oh.
And then he ran downstairs while I was working and said, listen to this!
Also accurate.
I feel like I was there. That reenactment was stunning.
It is called The Code,
Okay.
and it is on the Games album, his album Born to Rap.
Okay.
And I encourage, we're going to put it on the playlist, and I really want everyone, even if you don't like the game or 21 Savage, to go
Give it a
listen
shot
to this
anyways.
because it is...
Because Kyle spent an entire day finding it for you.
Yes, not only... I put in a lot of work trying to find this damn song.
No, but I know what you're saying. This is going to be a way out there comparison, but I don't like Creed at all.
Yeah.
And I don't like Miles Kennedy when he sings with Slash, but I like the three members of Creed with Miles Kennedy singing together when they're Alter Bridge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. It's like, even if you don't like with that, those two things should not mix for me, and they do.
Yeah, it almost... this record came out around the same time, or maybe before the latest Travis Scott record. And Travis Scott has a bunch of songs that are like two songs put together but were released as one song.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, whoa, like this is crazy, like for them to do this. This song is the same kind of way. When the part that I was looking for, that 21 Savage is on, when he comes in on the record, it changes to a completely different song in the middle of the song and then goes back to the song that it originally started out as at the end.
That's cool.
And damn.
And it sounds like Michelle enjoyed the hell out of it.
She was just blankly staring at me while I was playing it.
I was like, Travis Scott already did this.
Yeah, she did. Right. She literally said that, yes.
So you do remember something. So
It's
that's
hit or
your
miss.
Jamie Jams?
Yes.
Right on. And if anybody has been a new listener to the show, I assume your whole life has been improved over the past couple of weeks. And here it comes again. Just so you know, one of the features of listening to the show is every single week you get your life improved by finding out what Michelle's Jammy Jams are. And I've set this up so well, so help me, Lord, if it's, I was listening to this podcast. Michelle, what are your Jammy Jams?
I spent this week listening to the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, that's true.
But I have one.
Don't sound so enthused.
All right, we'll get there. Whole second half of the show.
Parker Millsap dropped another single off of his new record.
What was it called again?
Damn it!
That's right. No, what was the song called?
Damn it!
What was the song called? And he has a new album too, hopefully.
At some point, I didn't really look at it. There wasn't a release date or anything on Spotify. But
as far as how good the song is, tell them what you told me.
I think I said it was fire with a fire emoji.
You did.
And then I said that if anybody's listened to Fine Line by him, and then that's just the opening track to that record, it just hits you in the face, and this is what I think is going to be the opening track for his new record. At least I hope so.
And you said the thing that stuck with me was you said you wanted to listen to it again before it was over.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
so
sorry. When I brought home his last record, Other Arrangements, I'd never heard one note off the album, and I dropped the needle on the first track is Fine Line. I picked up the tone arm and moved it back and listened to that song 3 times in a row. It all, like the first 2 listens halfway through the song, I was like, I'm listening to this again. So,
I accidentally leaned on my keyboard and I pressed the back button in the middle of it, and I was just like,
yeah, I'll deal with that.
It's fine. Let's just get to another listen sooner.
So Parker Millsap, and I hope there's a whole record coming. And what else were you listening to?
That was it in the Rolling Stones. Man.
That and the Rolling Stones.
Kyle did not like the Parker Millsap song, though.
Accurate.
Boy.
To me, I actually want to hear what other people think about this, but to me, the song itself is not bad, but it was a constant lead up to something.
There is a crescendo. Yes, there is.
Okay.
But eventually, it's like 3 minutes into the song.
Well, I don't want to get
a constant build up.
too deep into this, but do you, off the top of your head, are you real familiar with the song Fine Line?
Yeah, I love that song.
When it stops, like where he goes up, so that there's no point like that in this song.
I think there is at the end of the song, or towards the end of the song, but like it's the way that the music is constructed throughout the entire thing. It's like a very, very gradual build up that never gets any
I hear what you're saying.
I don't know. It just
Kyle's lying.
irritates me.
GNR was accused of that 14 times in a row in Chinese democracy.
I think what you're going to have to do, Russ, is you're going to have to break your...
I don't want to talk about that right now. My code.
Yeah, you're going to break your code,
Nope.
and you're going to have to listen to this one song and give us a ruling.
I will put it under consideration. Right now, I'm very. There's one album, the Wolfgang Van Halen album, Mammoth. They keep releasing singles off of it, and I've only heard the one so far, Distance. Because the album's coming out on my birthday, which, by the way, I have to assume Wolfgang did on purpose.
Yeah, obviously.
But
there might be something else coming out on your birthday.
What?
Oh God! Oh boy!
Both of your faces when you finally got it.
I will have not done as much editing to an episode as this one in quite some time. And I want to mention that all of the editing is going to be abrupt and terrible, and it's all going to follow what? Because me and Kyle have already in this episode 3 times had to say what?
I really didn't understand what you were talking about there.
Yeah. So very quickly, Michelle is expecting, and the due date is around my birthday. And I'm trying to wait to listen to the Van Halen record, which is what we were talking about.
Yes.
And also, I'm trying to hold off and listen to the Parker Millsap record.
You're just trying to hold off and listen to all records when they get released front to back, right?
Right, yep. And a record that's already out and has been out for a long time is the Rolling Stones classic, Some Girls. When we return, we are going to talk through the Rolling Stones record and what we think about it and if we would buy it and so on and so forth. Infectious Groove Podcast album review coming up in just a minute.
Welcome everybody to the Potter's Groove Podcast. I am...
Whoa, dude. No. This is our promo, not the show. I'm Rico.
Oh, sorry. I'm CJ, and we're the hosts of the Potter's Groove Podcast.
We're fans of pretty much anything and everything pop culture, including movies, TV shows, books, video games, comics, music, and of course, Kevin Smith. Now, while we do keep our fingers on the pulse of Silent Bob, he certainly doesn't need our help in promoting him.
You got that right. We do our own thing, with inspiration from the man himself and his mantra of why not. We've got stories about celebrities we've interviewed, theories of our own for certain movies, and we can usually tend to have a great debate about anything.
We also do commentaries on movies. Sometimes we ask our fans what they want to watch with us. So if you love the timbre of our vocal cords and want to watch a movie at the same time, give us a listen.
Stay tuned every Monday, there's always something new. And if you've been good this year, we may even give you a bonus episode from time to time.
So please be good and subscribe to and enjoy Potter's Cube, founding member of the Odd Pods Media Network.
Welcome to Geek Exploration, the podcast. I'm John Williams.
And I'm Ben Robinson. Do you like time travel?
Movies.
Video games?
Comics.
Sci-fi?
Cartoons.
Or how about action figures?
Well, so do we. Every episode, we pick a topic from the geekosphere and have a little chat about it.
So if you've been waiting for a groundbreaking podcast that does all of this and more, you might have what it takes to be a Geek Explorer.
Come join us every other Tuesday for a fresh installment of Geek Exploration, the podcast.
You can find us at geeksplorationpodcast.com or any reputable podcatcher. Likely a few unreputable ones.
I'm Midnight Agent Raw. And I'm Okami. We are the Super Media Bros Podcast. And each week, we give a comedic take on all forms of entertainment, such as movies, music, video games, television, and much more. So put your shades on and listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Shades on. We're off.
We are back, and this week we are bringing you the second of our total in album reviews that we've been doing, and went real well the first time, even though there was no rhyme or reason to why the record was chosen.
Why does there have to be?
There doesn't have to be. It was just we.
I just assumed there was.
Kyle and I totally thought you had a plan, and it turns out you did not.
No.
This time around, Kyle has chosen a record for us to review, and I told you guys last time I wasn't prepared enough. I didn't have a drop. I made a shiny new drop for our album reviews. And so going forward, when we have an album review, it will be signified by this drop.
The Infectious Groove Podcast.
Album review.
Oh, I'm sure I'll say something dumb.
Yes.
That is...
Oh, boy. boy.
And that drop there is from a discussion about when I said we're going to get into album reviews. And I was like, Michelle, you tend to create a lot of controversy when we talk album reviews. And you were like, oh, I'm sure I'll say something dumb. And so as it came out of your mouth, I was like, that's going in the drop for album reviews. This week, Kyle has chosen for us to review the Rolling Stones classic Some Girls, which was brought to us on June 9th, 1978, and really was looked at as a sort of a comeback album at the time because the Stones put out Exile on Main Street, which pretty much everybody viewed as like that's the Stones record. Like to this day, that's the one that everybody like references when you talk Pink Floyd. People will reference The Dark Side of the Moon first, that type of thing. Or Dre, people will reference The Chronic, so on. Exile on Main Street always gets the biggest praise, and then they really put out a couple of records that not only were the critics not about, but the general public wasn't really either. Black and Blue and It's Only Rock and Roll. They just weren't received well by the public. And then Some Girls came out and it got the first real critical praise since Exile, and the public really went for it in a big way. And when you listen to the record, it's not it's interesting to me. We'll get into what we feel are the best tracks in an open discussion, but it's a really diverse album. If nothing else. So let's go around the room and say what our favorite tracks were. Kyle, if you had to say what the best tracks on the record are, what would they be for you?
My hands down favorite Rolling Stone song on earth is Beast of Burden.
Oh, I didn't ask you this all week on purpose. You said you picked this album because it has your favorite, and I wasn't sure what it would be, and so I on purpose wanted to find out on the show.
Beast of Burden.
So I will say this. Here's Beast of Burden to me is if aliens came down to Earth and they were like, we need to know what the Rolling Stones sound like.
Yes.
That's the first song I would play.
Yeah.
Like that's
I totally
just
agree.
what the Stones sound like.
Yes, and I just I love the goddamn song. I
don't know how into like guitar tones you are, but Keith's guitar tone, right from the top of that, and then Charlie Watts' drum kit sounds like you're sitting next to it.
Yes, it sounds fantastic.
A lot of problems I have with the record are some production issues. Yeah. If the whole record sounded as good as Beast of Burden does, like sonically, it'd be a whole different situation.
Yeah, you're totally right.
If you're ever at a bar with Kyle and he's drunk and there's a jukebox,
gonna be some Beast of Burden
at least one time.
Yeah,
and he likes to sing along loudly.
Well, side note, you know how it more becomes like people trying to make a lame joke about misheard lyrics, like the Hendrix people. Excuse me while I kiss this guy instead of kiss this guy. For real, when I was a kid, I thought it was pizza burning.
Yes. Change of proof.
For real, and I've covered that song in bands and slipped that in every so often because no one knows. So anyways, Beast of Burden, of course, classic Stones song.
And then when I got digging into this, I realized that one of my other favorite songs is on this too, which is Shattered.
Oh, really?
Yes, I love everything about the way it sounds, the roughness of it, the way they made his voice sound on it, like everything.
Yep. Shattered gets a lot. Shattered is one of those songs that gets put on a lot of the Rolling Stones have like 50 greatest hits packages, and it gets put on almost all of them.
Mm-hmm. How many records do they have?
Rolling Stones, a lot. Well, and what's weird, the Stones have, and I'm not being funny, a ton of hits packages and live albums, and so it's hard to tell them apart sometimes, like what's what. But studio records, they have a ton. Just a ton. I mean, their first record came out in the mid '60s, and it's into the 2020s now, and they're still putting out new material. So,
the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
Man.
Yeah, I know. What else you got for you? Is that your favorites on there?
Those are my two favorites.
And Beast of Burden?
Coming in a close third is Miss You, for sure.
I dig the hell out of Miss You. And what are your favorite tracks?
He just said all the same ones.
In the same order?
Shattered, Beast of Burden?
No, I would put Beast of Burden, Miss You, Shattered.
Okay. For me, first of all, my personal favorite track on the record is the cover of Just My Imagination.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I put in my notes that it's a fantastic cover.
I forget that it's on here.
Yeah.
And it's so unique. It's not just because the Stones have done a couple of Motown covers, and they're usually like just the same as the original. And they very much put their own spin on it.
It sounds like a Rolling Stones version of that song. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's
I did
awesome.
write in my notes, jam.
Miss You, of course, for me. Beast of Burden, of course. And then the one I had that neither of you had on your best ofs is When the Whip Comes Down, man. What I like about When the Whip Comes Down is if you were a Rolling Stones devotee in 78 and you brought home Some Girls and dropped the needle, you would be like, why are the Rolling Stones doing disco? And then When the Whip Comes Down comes in and the Rolling Stones are like, it's going to be okay. Like, here's the rest of this is Rolling Stone songs.
It's just a good rock song.
Yeah, I dig it. I dig. Yeah. Well, and I like it. I love it. And I'm huge on track listing. Mm-hmm. I think it's there for a reason. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like there to calm down the Rolling Stone fan who was about to throw Some Girls because Miss You is a disco song. You know? Whew, let's get into stinkers.
Yes.
And the person who coined the phrase, let's just start with you, Michelle. What do you got for stinkers?
Faraway Eyes.
Yeah, that was the first one I had. Do you know that's the B-side to the 7-inch for Miss You? No. So if you just wandered into the record store,
You also hate country, so that's not surprising.
but if you walked into the record store and were like, I need to get that disco song by the Rolling Stones,
It has a country song.
yeah, you flip that thing over. How much would you die? You'd be like,
Yeah.
What if those are the only 2 songs by the Rolling Stones you ever heard?
Why'd they put a different band on the B-side? So yeah, Faraway Eyes it's not even, for me, it wasn't a stinker. It just doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
Before They Make Me Run,
Not so much for you.
I put Are They Drunk? Stinker.
Hold on. First of all, yes.
It literally sounds like how I imagine we sound when we sing at the top of our lungs in the car. Like when they're singing at the end.
Well, to be fair, we're also drunk. So.
Yeah, no, and but we're not classically trained.
Oh, well, I don't think the Rolling
No,
Stones.
what are they classically trained at doing?
Well, they sell millions of
Wait
records.
a minute. Maybe we need to reset the episode, and you need to lower your expectations for the Rolling Stones.
I mean, jeez.
But I when I was on, I literally thought, because my first initial listening was just at work, and I just put it on just to power through it one time without making any notes. And I didn't know if I thought maybe I jumped to another record because I was like, this is not the Rolling Stones. Well, who are these drunk people on my computer yelling? I don't understand.
It turns out it's just the Rolling Stones.
It's just the Rolling Stones.
Just the Rolling Stones drunk.
Yeah.
And what do you got for stinkers, Kyle?
I don't have any stinkers.
Whoa!
I have no stinkers.
Fucking ramble-tamble over here.
So there are 2 songs that distinctly remind me of CCR on this record.
Oh.
The way that they sound.
Dude, yeah, go ahead now. I was going to say save it for open discussion.
Lies.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's super upbeat and it just sounds like CCR is playing it.
Sure.
And then the other one that I have listed is Respectable.
Okay. Yeah,
Also, I have in my notes, it says more of that Ramble Tamble CCR style. Not literally the song Ramble Tamble, though.
more in the Tamble style.
Yes, yeah.
So for my stinkers, I had Faraway Eyes, and oh man, are you guys gonna be mad? I had Shattered as a stinker. I just never have liked the song. I've just never liked it. Now, let me say this though. Unlike, and I don't want to name names, but unlike somebody on this show,
Kyle.
Although it's not for me, which my note, by the way, actually says this is a no for me, dog. I totally get how everybody else would like it. Mm-hmm. It just something about it doesn't. I don't know. It could be a victim of track listing. Like I don't like that it ends the record. It's just like the album should end on a bigger bang than that. As an inside joke, there's a Rolling Stones album called A Bigger Bang.
That's not an inside joke. It's just a joke that you made that we don't understand.
Right, which makes it an inside joke.
Other people probably get it.
Holy cow. So it's just not for me. Let me put it this way. I would never in a million years, if you were like, hey, play some Stones, I would never put on Shattered.
But would you say it's a stinker because like you either where it is track listing or like maybe it was overplayed for you at some point in your life, or is it just like an awful song?
It's a track listing
issue.
It just doesn't belong there. And I don't know. I haven't put enough thought into it to know like if I would track it differently, if I would put it somewhere else and I would like the song more, but I don't like it too.
I don't like it enough for you to have to go through that.
To be completely honest with you, I was surprised after listening to the whole thing front to back multiple times that I didn't think that there was stinkers on it because I'm not even really a huge Rolling Stones fan to begin with. So I thought for sure that there was going to be something on there that I didn't like, was not for me. But I like them. I'm okay with everything that's on the record.
And you're steering us into the open discussion on the record, which is great.
Yeah.
Here's the weird thing about the Stones, and this is going to tie into something else, is I own a lot of Stones. I probably have most of their studio records on vinyl. And what's a weird thing with me with the Stones is I can't concentrate on their records. Like if name a Rolling Stones album, if you put it on, my ears will perk up when I'm hearing a single or a song that I already know. And then in between, everything else is just there.
That's how the new Kings of Leon record is for me.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so with this particular album, like right off the bat, I'm like, Miss You. Oh, I know that. And then it went way uphill for me because I don't know when the whip comes down really well. And I was like, oh, this is great. It still has my attention. And then like for almost the whole rest of the record, I had to like really make sure I was paying attention or I would have just zoned out. And that doesn't make it a bad record at all because like it's obviously just me since the Stones have like 1 billion fans. You know what I mean? But it's something with me and the Stones. Like I can't pay attention to whole records of theirs. And so for me, how that ties into the whole album is, and we'll open this discussion now regarding the title song.
Well,
so here's me in the car driving along and the song kicks in and I'm on purpose making sure I pay attention to this, right? So the song kicks in and this is my entire thought process and we'll go into why in a second. But here's me and the song starts and I'm like, why don't more people talk about this song? What a jam. Like I've seen the Stones like 3 times and they've never done this. And no one's ever like, oh, I can't believe they didn't do Some Girls. You know, like I've left Stone shows.
Title track off their one of their.
Like I've left Stone shows and had people be like, oh, I can't believe they didn't do Love is Strong or Start Me Up or what, you know what I mean? Like I've never heard a person, why? And then here's the next thought process. Oh no. And then literally another minute of the song went by and out loud to myself in the car, I said, oh, that's why.
Yeah,
so,
I listened
Michelle, would you like to take us through why?
If you're into some very, very deep misogyny and possible racism, it's for you.
And the safest place to be, a gray area of racism.
Yes.
Yeah. So I listened, like I said, the first time at work, and I didn't even realize it. And it was the same thing that happened to me where I was listening to make my notes, and I was just trucking along, and then I was like, what? And I immediately was like, what did he just say? Like I had to Google the lyrics, and the first thing when I came up, I just Googled Some Girls Rolling Stone lyrics. Is a Rolling Stone article from 1978 where they were like, oh no. They said that it degrades blacks and women and is a racial insult. And they said that, do you want me to read the lyric or not?
I would rather you didn't.
Okay.
I would just say that, take our word for it, that the second verse.
Go and listen and then tell us what you hear.
Yeah. So, I would rather those words not come from us in that order.
Yeah.
Yes. So the Rolling Stone article, pretty much they were like, you can't say that, like don't put that out. And Mick Jagger specifically said, if you can't take a joke, it's too fucking bad.
So there's that.
So
and again, we're coming fresh off of our cancel culture episode. I want to be clear. I'm not like, and retroactively cancel the Stones. I just was like, you just did that, huh?
In my notes, I have Mick Jagger didn't give no fucks even after being advised about how this song was going to be received.
He goes on to say,
which is what you like.
Somebody issued a statement.
Mick Jagger said, someday Kyle's going to like it.
Somebody issued a statement on the band's behalf and said, it never occurred to us that our parody of certain stereotypical attitudes would be taken seriously by anyone who heard the entire lyrics of the song in question. No insult was intended, and if any were taken, we sincerely apologize. And this is from an article from November 16th, 1978. So
right on. And so, like I say, I wasn't offended at all. I just was like, oh, well, that's why I've never heard anyone request
I wasn't
this song.
offended either, but I could totally see if you were a woman or a woman of color or a woman that wasn't white of any descent would be offended by the song.
Sure.
Absolutely.
How did you, were you like, Michelle as a woman, were you like, what? Were you
I immediately was like, you can't say that. And then I thought of Brown Sugar, and then I was like, well, that makes sense because they just...
coming from the same folks.
Coming from the same people. But then I read this article, and I guess I don't know parody of people's attitudes. Like, I feel like that's still generalizing people. I think that they didn't mean it maliciously, and they didn't.
And we talked about that in the cancel episode. Yeah. I think intent matters a great deal.
They honestly were just making
I think he was looking at it as a joke towards people's racist views on things.
Yeah, and it was meant well.
So that it made it look like it was his racist views on things.
And so, yeah.
Well, and there's, like with Pink Floyd, I can bring a lot of things back to GNR. And there's that song 1 in a Million on GNR Lies that Axl has always said that the offensive language he uses in that song is from the point of view of a character. And everybody hearing it is like, well, you wrote it, you sang it, that's you saying it, So I could very much see that as well. I don't know if Mick Jagger immediately trying to play it off as a joke is the best way to go about it.
But also, and this is, and people always say this, it was 1978, man. Like, it was not, it's like, of course, it would be a completely different story if they just released that album today with that lyric and we're like, no, it's fine. Like, just laugh about it.
And as you know, I'm all for artists that give zero fucks about anything.
Yeah, I've never heard that about you.
Because to me, that's great, but I don't know. I think that his nonchalant attitude toward the entire thing is not cool and funny too at the same time.
Yeah. But at the same time, though, I think now it's totally different for us to look back on it, than when it happened. And
I'm not going to go say cancel it. Nobody listened to this record anymore.
For sure. And I want to be clear. I knew we would spend a lot of time on this particular song for a number of reasons. And for me, this is not what the album boils down to.
No.
It's not like I would never look at Some Girls again and go, oh, that's the song with the thing. Like I would look at Some Girls every time and be like, Beast of Burden.
And that's probably my least favorite song on the record.
Yeah.
Like I don't like it doesn't stand.
It's not as bad as Shattered. I kid. But what's interesting about this record is that it came right after Black and Blue, which no one liked. Like Stones fans didn't like it, the press didn't like it or anything. And then these guys just turned around.
Are there any singles on it?
Black and Blue?
Yeah.
Not that you would know,
okay.
no. And then they just come back and they're like, oh yeah, well here's a disco song, so the fans aren't going to like that.
Here's a country song.
Yeah, here's a country song. So there's a swagger to the record that I like a lot. And I think besides, I didn't have these on my stinkers or best tracks. Well, I did When the Whip Comes Down, but like Respectable, When the Whip Comes Down, Before They Make Me Run, those are all classic Stones songs. They all
I can agree with that,
sound like Stones.
I put For When the Whip Comes Down, it's just a great rock song. Like it's just it's what I think of the sound of the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, and they just pulled off this thing on this record that's got a country song right in the middle of it. And I mean a country song and a disco song at the beginning, and then somehow still made the whole thing sound like a classic Stones record.
I was going to say regarding Faraway Eyes and it being a country song, all of the Stones are, I guess, big country fans and have been for a long time. But
Angie, Wild Horses, it's in their DNA.
To me, that song sounded like they were trying to,
like a parody.
Yes, like almost they're trying to make it sound like what they thought country music sounded like.
If nothing else, the accent that Mick Jagger sings it with, for sure.
Yes, the made up country accent that he has.
Yeah.
But I like the song.
Sure.
But it sounds like they're trying to make something because they think that it's like a funny thing to them. Almost.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Yeah.
And I just don't like it because to me it's just not a good country song.
I was going to say it's not a genuine country song, and it can't be a genuine country song because it's the goddamn Rolling Stones.
Right.
So it's not going to be a genuine country song.
Right. So as far as general discussion of the record goes and what we liked and what we don't like, I think we got through a lot of that. So here's something interesting that I don't think I included in our Cosmos Factory review that I think is a cool thing to consider going forward. So just flat out, now having heard the whole record, whether or not you owned it previously, would you buy this? If you were in the record store today, would you buy this album? Would you pick it up and buy it? And I'll throw it to you first, Kyle.
Absolutely.
Okay, now hold on. This is total sidebar. This is me asking a sub-question. I'm not saying you answered wrong. Would you buy it because you don't have Beast of Burden or whatever? Like if you already own Beast of Burden or whatever on a hits package, would you still buy this whole record?
To be honest, I would buy this record based upon the album art alone.
Yeah.
He probably already bought it.
Yeah. It's probably on the way to the house. When you guys get home, it's probably
on the front porch.
And actually, do you have any information on the album cover? Because it is a famous cover, and I don't have any
There's some controversy about that.
Some controversy.
They put a lot of famous women's faces in the faces on the graphics on the label.
Yeah.
And all of these, like it was like Marilyn Monroe and a couple other girls. And all of the people who owned the rights to their images and their estates and whatnot were like, you can't do that.
Right.
So then they came back, and then when the album was released,
because of a little thing called intellectual property,
it became like a cutout album, and that's where all of their own faces are inserted into the fucking
very Andy Warhol-esque with the smeared makeup and everything.
Yeah, so they originally tried to release the album with a bunch of women's faces, some being famous, and it did not go over well. So then, as a you know what, fuck you, then they put their own faces on, in where they would have had the other faces.
I put on Instagram today. I did a post of just the album cover, saying, "Hey, this is coming Monday," and I tagged each of the Stones on their faces.
So it sounds like before this record came out, they were like, you can't do that, and you can't do that, and you can't do that, and they got away with most of it.
The Stones
that was very much the era of like, we're going to do whatever we want.
Oh, the 70s. The 70s.
I do that now.
Yeah, you would have fit in much better in the 70s. There was also a lot of people not paying attention in the 70s as well, forgetting things. Michelle, if you're in the record, well, not that you would go to the record store, but if you went to the record store, and would you pick up and buy a copy of Some Girls by the Rolling Stones?
No, because Kyle would have already gotten it. No, I wouldn't.
You should have done the drop.
Why? It was funny.
Yeah. And so we're not Kyle in this world. If you did not have the Kyle bump, if nothing was coming out on June 12th, What would you do if you had a copy of Some Girls in your hands? Put it back in the bin or take it to the register?
I would put it back in the bin.
Okay, see, now, here's the thing. Here's what's funny. I would buy it because, here's the thing. I own everything on this album that I want on Stone's hits packages, except for Just My Imagination.
That's a good cook.
And I do own Some Girls on vinyl, and I bought it for Just My Imagination. So,
did it come in that?
No. Michelle pointing at a Rolling Stones box set in the room that people can't hear. No, it did not come in the Rolling Stones box set that people can't see on the podcast. But so I put myself as like a maybe because I bought it for a couple bucks used. I don't know. Let me put it this way: CD prices, whatever, $15 or whatever. Yeah. I don't know that I would pay all $15 to get Just My Imagination. So
I don't know how much I would listen to it. Cosmos Factory, I would definitely go out and buy and just put it on when I'm like just cleaning the house or chilling at home or whatever. This, I would only listen to it, maybe the cuts that I like. There's too many stinkers on it for me to listen to it front to back, and I feel like that's my line.
No stinkers over here.
That's my line for like record. I'll buy a record for one song, but if it's like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So for me, like in a world where no Stones hits packages exist, it's a definite buy for me because I got to have Miss You and Beast of Burden.
Yeah, I feel like I don't have to have any of those songs.
What a giant surprise. What a giant surprise. Hey, breaking news. Michelle is lukewarm to something. Film at 11.
If someone gifted it to me, I would not return it.
Oh, you mean, wait, are we calling that the Portishead line?
Yeah.
For the record, I very famously gave Michelle Portishead's second record and masterpiece, and she gave it back. This was about 20 years ago, and I'm still mad about it.
I was like, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, I'm still mad about it.
To fully answer your question, even if there wasn't controversy with the album cover and whatnot, I would have walked over to it because of the way it looks.
Okay.
Picked it up, flipped it over, and seen that Beast of Burden and Shattered were on there and Miss You were on there, and I would have been like, done.
Scoop it right up.
Yep, I'm buying this.
Right on. I hear that. Yeah. I hear that. And like in a world where Stones hits packages don't exist, it's an auto buy for me. Based on except for Shattered, the songs you said.
Yeah.
Replaced Shattered with Just My Imagination.
Yeah, there you go.
Just lift up the needle for the last song, so you're fine.
Right. Yeah. I actually do that with the final Pink Floyd studio album, too. The last song on it is the worst song Pink Floyd's ever recorded. So I get through all 3.5 sides, and then I wait right before that song starts, and I lift the needle and act like it never happened.
Does it get better?
Well, their final studio record is a completely instrumental album, and it's gorgeous. And then the last song of Pink Floyd's career, because it's the very last song on the very last studio album, has lyrics, and they're terrible lyrics written by David Gilmour and his wife. And I refuse to let that be the bookend of Pink Floyd's career. So, but yes, I could do that with, and I probably will do that going forward when I drop the needle on Some Girls. Be like, hey, hurry up and grab that tone arm before Shattered happens.
Unless we're here.
Right, yeah, and then I'll just be nice.
And then you just go to the bathroom.
Yeah. I have to go for 4.5 minutes. So, bringing us around to the final judgment call. So, we said whether we'd buy the album or not. So, let's give this a point scale because that's always fun. Kyle, 1 to 10, with 10 being the best. Where do you rate this record?
An 8.
An 8. I could see that.
I don't really like the Rolling Stones in general. Like I don't own any of their records, and but I very, very, very much like a few of the songs on this record.
I have a box set I could show you later. I don't know if you saw it. Michelle, what would you give this record? 1 out of 10, with 10 being the best.
6.
I fall right in between you guys. I'm at a 7, and I'll tell you why. Because first of all, I think I have like one less that I don't like than you. You like Shattered and I don't. I think that's the difference. Mm-hmm. And then the other part of my point comes from the production. The production is way too all over the place for me.
It very much is all over the place.
Like Beast of Burden, you could put on right now and ask somebody when it was recorded, and they wouldn't know it was recorded in 1977 or whenever. Yeah. So every other song on the record you could put on and be like, when was this recorded? And they'll be like, hopefully the 40s. Because it sounds like crap. So in production, for me, is a huge thing.
You know what I think pushed me to like Shattered even more than what I already did was when I read that Mick Jagger wrote that song while he was riding around in the back of a New York City cab.
Nice.
And it very much sounds like he's literally writing about what he's seeing as he's riding around.
Yeah.
Because that was the craziness of like New York City back then. It sounds just like how...
For driving through Times Square was a whole different experience.
Oh, yeah.
Going near Studio 54.
Yeah.
whole different.
It just sounds to me like that's how New York looked back in the day.
Yeah.
Which is why I like it.
And I want to be clear, I'm aware, I'm very on an island about Shattered. Everyone loves that song but me. And I don't even hate it. It's just there for me.
Yeah.
So,
you did call it a stinker, though, so I feel like
it's a stinker for me.
Yeah, but that can you not hate it and have it be a stinker?
Well, not everyone's mind works like yours does. And something can be not for me, and I don't have to hate it or anything. I don't even have to hate it or the person who burned it for me on CD and gave it to me 20 years ago.
So I was just supposed to pretend that I liked it?
Or continue to try, one or the other. Yeah, that record's a masterpiece, and I'm not saying it's going to be our next.
You're going to pick it up.
Review. It's not going to be the next one, but it's in my list of things to review.
I already listened to it once.
She's so upset. So, really, I mean, 789. Sorry, 678. 678. And I totally, I could have almost guessed where we all were going to fall on that. You know?
It's just that the Rolling Stones are just, I respect what they do, but they're not my jammy jams.
Yeah.
So.
They are very much just there for me too, but the Beast of Burden is.
So it's okay if he picks a record just for one song, but when I did it, it was not a thing.
You didn't pick it for one song.
I did.
You said you didn't have a reason for picking it.
Well, then I can see the lights on there.
Don't try to throw me underneath the bus with you.
Right now, you're telling us you picked that album because As Long as I Can See the Light is on there.
Yes.
But what you told us in recorded history that's out on the internet that people have heard, you said there was no reason for you to pick the album.
That doesn't sound like me.
You thought that it would make a great album to review, is what you said.
So speaking of album reviews, they're going to come up again. Album reviews are going to come up again in a couple of weeks, and it'll be my turn. And I'm already pretty anxious about it because I have so many different choices, you know. And I know this is a continuing series. It's not like I have to get everything in all at once, but I have a lot of different choices.
My next one's going to be a good one.
Oh boy, good one by whose standards?
Mine.
Oh, okay. So,
so you guys are going to hate it, and I'm going to love every second of it.
That's almost every listener last time was like, I can't believe she didn't make him listen to stuff she loves. So,
well, if people had never listened to us before, they're going to be like, why is this crazy girl picking
which is why I wanted
Confession?
which is why I wanted the first round of reviews to be this way so people can get used to it. Next week, what we are going to do, we're going to talk about what I think is a pretty interesting topic because definitely I think that all three of us have reacted differently to this, and it's with the what we hope is coming near the end of the worldwide pandemic and lockdowns. Again, all fingers in this room are crossed and all wood is being knocked down right now. Please don't actually do that. We are hoping that we're going to get back into our old ways and going to see live shows and having new music really released regularly. But we want to have a roundtable discussion about how the lockdowns and the pandemic really definitely shifted the way all three of us consume music, and even started a podcast about music with a whole plan for live show releases and new album releases, and then almost none of it happened all year long.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about that. I think that's going to be a really fun topic, and it's going to be one too for good feedback. A lot of people say I did that without thinking or along those lines. That'll be fun. And then as far as feedback goes, please make sure you share your thoughts with us about the Rolling Stones. Some girls, I know that some people view it as an all-time classic album in general. Some people think it's a classic just for the Stones. You know, some people might even hear it and be like, if I never hear Beast of Burden again, it'll be too soon. Or some people might, you might get a classic Stones fan. It's just like, I hated Miss You in 78. I hate it now. And I hate you three for talking about it.
I don't know how much this actually matters, but Rolling Stone magazine rated Beast of Burden 433 out of the 500 greatest rock songs of all time.
All right.
And 435 out of 500 of the greatest songs. What?
That's not a good number.
Out of that many rock songs, that's to be in the discussion is fantastic.
It's 435 out of 500 of the greatest songs of all time.
Right.
So think about how many songs are out in the world.
Is the magazine named after the band?
No. The magazine is named after the Rolling Stone, or I'm sorry, after the Bob Dylan lyric, and the band is also named after the Bob Dylan lyric.
Dylan does a lot.
Yeah, sure does.
Welcome to Earth.
Yep, sure does. And before you ask what song it is that the band and the magazine are named after, it's after like a Rolling Stone.
Got it.
Yeah.
Also, for feedback, I want to know if people want music news back.
Oh, yeah. We did have at least 2 people reach out and say they missed music news.
And I said we thought that it was old hat by the time that we recorded and it came out, and it's been told to us that it was news to people.
Yeah,
so
2 people that we know were more or less like, well, I was getting my music news from you.
So yeah, just tell us if you like it or not.
Yeah, let us know, and I don't know. We'll find a way to work it back in.
Well, if the people want it.
Yeah, well,
we like to give the people what they want.
If nothing else, that's what I think. When I think Michelle, I think people pleaser. It's the first thing.
Me too. That's so so
First
weird.
thing I think when I think Michelle is how giving she is. Yeah.
Yep,
And how she's always going out of her way
Go
to make
on.
sure others are happy. Would you like the compliments to continue
I would
wafting
like, yes, please.
toward you? Like we always say about this time, without music, life would be a mistake. Bye.
Bye. The Infectious Groove Podcast is hosted by Russ Robinson, Kyle Wimple, and Michelle Koselecki. Produced and edited by Russ Robinson. Intro and outro music composed by Chris Kimmel. Opening credits read by Stacey Robinson. Recorded with a Rode Podcaster Pro and Rode Pod mics.